All right, let's go back in time now to summer 2020. We know it's impossible to forget. There were nightly protests and vandalism. There were fights with police in the streets of Portland. All of it came in waves after the murder of George Floyd. And nearly every night for months, Portland police and federal officers deployed tear gas to try and break up the crowds. That summer, Portland police used it more than 100 times. It affected protesters, obviously, but it also affected anyone walking, working, or living nearby. If you've ever experienced tear gas, you know it's no joke. It irritates your eyes, your nose, your skin, your throat. The effects can last for weeks or months, according to the American Lung Association. It can also cause lung problems, and some studies have linked tear gas to brain injuries, loss of limbs, blindness, and mental health problems. On top of that, according to new research from Kaiser, it can also impact a person's menstrual cycle. And that is what Liv Vasquez says happened to her. She wasn't even at the protests. We want to note she was just living her life at her home in Southeast Portland. But she says for months she had major problems with her period, and she blames it on tear gas.
This was early quarantine. I think it's almost hard to remember now, but early in quarantine, everything was closed. We were really only allowed to take a walk around the block as our only outlet for the day, or only fresh air for the day. So I was going out and trying to take my daily walks, and I would get about halfway around the block and literally be doubled over with cramps. Like, it was pretty fast that it would happen, and it was kind of abnormal for me. I had never had cramps like this before. And so I would pretty much just turn around and go right back home. And then I started noticing spotting, which is another thing that I have not really experienced before, especially to this degree. And then, issues with my menstrual cycle started happening.
Now, we first talked to Vasquez about her health problems back in May. Fast forward to now, she is suing the city of Portland, arguing that her symptoms were so severe she had to move miles away.
I love Portland so much, and it felt like all of a sudden I was living in a toxic waste dump. Like, the city that I had put so much love towards was really not the city. It was unrecognizable. And it kind of broke my heart. Like, I've always been a good citizen, and I have always cheered the city on. And this was an assault on all of us. And it wasn't just people who were downtown. It was all of us being affected by this. This is an environmental impact. And this is a city that 6 years ago wouldn't even put salt on the roads because of an environmental impact. And now they're poisoning the entire city weeks at a time for almost 3 months.
So Vasquez's lawyer says he has experts ready to show that tear gas exposure explicitly caused her health issues. They're asking for up to $20,000 in damages, and they also want the city declared negligent in how they used tear gas.
Tear gas is a weapon of war, and it should almost never be used in highly populated areas where people live, where pets live, where there's senior care facilities. And the city of Portland was definitely negligent, if not reckless, in its deployment of tear gas in the summer of 2020. Now, we have seen some corrective action on behalf of the city, but we want a policy that they are not going to continue buying, storing, or using tear gas, except for very special circumstances that we want them to articulate.
So it is worth noting that last August, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler issued a temporary policy with no clear end date, banning police from using tear gas in most situations. We did reach out to the city, but they declined to comment on pending litigation.